police cars. Oh, there was a police car involved. No, they're talking about how great Katz's Deli is. Katz's Deli.
Who's been there? Who's been to Katz's Deli?
Where is this?
It's in Manhattan.
I think we need a field trip.
Jason's firing the bus.
There we go. Tom and Rob had to go down there for a trade show last week, and the trade show apparently was terrible, but the pastrami sandwiches were amazing. And it was like they just made the rye bread like 3 hours ago.
Worth every penny of the real institution.
Did you just get that?
$26 for a sandwich?
$26 for the sandwich?
32 for this.
32 for Tom, so he just had pickles.
No, not the pickle free, but I like meat, I don't like marble.
Sorry. All right. So we're a couple minutes early here. So just before we get started, and I'm going to have Philip start because he's got a conflicting meeting, but you all know what to do if the alarm goes off, right? Stay put. And you'll wait for us to tell you where to go. And you'll do the same thing if you're in any space here at the community. Philip, would you like to start us off? Do you prefer a handheld or a stationary? Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Philip Mail. Is this on?
No, I don't think so.
On now, yes. My name is Philip Mail. I am the director of the Health Center. And I'll give you some highlights on what we're doing right now. We are in the midst of yet another booster blitz. CDC has come forth and said the new definition of up-to-date with vaccines means the new bivalent vaccine that has become available. So we are in the, they are highly recommending it for our population. So we are in the process right now of going through all the residents in the health center, obtaining their consent. We are anticipating another probably almost unanimous consent for folks to get it. We are obtaining the vaccine. We have some clinics set up where that will be administered, of course, all in-house. At the same time, we will be beginning to unveil the procedures for our staff here in the health center, well, in Woodland Pond Large, to also have an opportunity to get that vaccine. So that's, I should say simultaneously, since 'tis the season, we will be giving flu shots very soon, also in the health center. So that's why we have two arms, right? You can't get them on the same day. So that's a big question. You can absolutely get your bivalent vaccine and the flu shot on the same day. Pardon? I would choose different arms. I'm not sure if they were part of it, but I'm not sure they could hit the exact same spot. But so we'll be hard at work on that, and the Department of Health over in our regulated section of the building, that is the health center, will be watching us carefully how many and how available we've made it, what kind of education we put forth on that. So we're very busy with that.
And I would just like to add to that, because I know some of you may ask, can independent living residents get in on that vaccine? I'm working on it with Roseanne. So Roseanne is our director of nursing. She and I have started that conversation to see how we might be able to get access to that vaccine for all of you. In the meantime, keep your eye out for clinics. You can go get it if you want to.
It's very available at your local drug. I mean, I walk right into Rite Aid. I know.
But we will see. Don't wait on us, but we are going to see what we can come up with. If you get access to it in the meantime and you want to, go ahead and do it. Otherwise, we'll see what solutions we can come up with, and I just would ask you to stay tuned.
Another offering that we are in the final stages of having made available in the health center is an acupuncturist. We have recently obtained a licensed massage therapist, and we are now adding to the services, finalizing a workflow to have an acupuncturist available too, of course subject to doctor's approval and things like that. But just a nice addition to the ever-growing services that we're trying to offer here at Woodland Pond. Any other questions on the health center, or any questions on the health center? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. So before we go on, I just wanted to bring Crystal Spaeth up, because some of you have not met Crystal. Come over, Crystal. So Crystal is my executive assistant. folks around here convinced me that I needed to have a little bit of help with getting some things done. So Crystal's here 3 days a week with me. Crystal will make appointments. She sits right outside my office, which for those that don't know is behind concierge. Crystal can help you with making appointments with me. If you have a time-sensitive issue, she'll get you in to see me as soon as she can. She answers my phone when I'm otherwise occupied. But this is Crystal. For anybody have any questions for Crystal? Okay, there she is. There she goes. Whoever wants to go next.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sarah Leonard. I'm the Resident Services Director. So I just wanted to take a minute to introduce myself for those of you who are new and who came in the last couple of months because I was away on maternity leave. So my role here at Woodland Pond as the Resident Services Director, the primary aspect of that role is to provide social work type services to all the independent living residents and to also be available to their families and caregivers. And so in that role, if someone has questions, concerns, if they are going through a period where they're feeling emotionally distressed, or they're going through physical changes, or having other challenges in their life, they are welcome to just come and knock on my door, come in and see me, give me a call. My door is open. So in a given day, I usually receive multiple calls from family members, and I usually have multiple residents come in just to sit down and talk with me. Sometimes they close the door to talk confidentially about things that are on their minds. Sometimes they might come and talk to me about a neighbor and say, I'm really concerned about how my neighbor's doing. They seem to be having more challenges physically, or they seem to be distressed emotionally, and what can I do to help them? I work very closely with Mary Jo, the wellness nurse, and also with Gretchen, the activities coordinator, and Grace, the fitness instructor. And another part of my role is when an independent living resident goes out to the hospital, myself and Mary Jo will know that, and we will be in touch with you directly many times, perhaps your family member, or perhaps directly with hospital staff to find out how you're doing, to find out what you need, to see if your plan is to go to the health center for a rehabilitation stay, if you've had an injury. And that just triggers a whole process behind the scenes with our Woodland Pond team to make sure that you have what you need when you come back. So that's another part of my role. So I'm available to you, again, with any questions you have, concerns you have. I really enjoy it when people come by my office or give me a call to talk about what's on their minds. Michelle, is there anything you want me to add to that?
I don't think so. I don't know if anyone has any questions. Here you go, Betsy.
Yes. How's the baby?
Hold on.
Okay, Betsy's asking how the baby is. So Chloe's doing great. She's just about 4 months old. We're having a great time watching her just learn and do new things. She's been rolling over. She just laughed for the first time the other day, which was like the best to see her do that. And Sonia, who's 12, big sister, is doing great with her. Just loves her to pieces. So it's been really really wonderful. I'm a little sleep deprived, but other than that, I'm having a great time. So, and just one quick announcement, and Joan Kleinhurst, maybe you can help me out with these details. I understand for Kaleidoscope that the raffle baskets, any items for the raffle baskets are due shortly. And Joan, if you want to just say to me what you're looking for, I can repeat.
It's due today. Tomorrow we're putting the baskets together, and the response has been wonderful.
Okay, Joan is saying that the response for the raffle baskets has been wonderful. If you have any items that you were planning on donating to them, they're due today, and tomorrow the baskets are going to be assembled. So this is great, because every year Joan gets concerned, we're not going to have enough things, how is this all going to come together? It always comes together, and we always have fabulous raffle baskets.
Yeah, I don't know if
that's
this
great.
place does it on purpose.
They do it on purpose to make your anxious, right?
Just to see me get aggravated. This week has been amazing. Amazing.
Great, terrific. Okay, I think that's all for me.
Anybody have anything else for Sarah? Okay, thanks, Sarah.
Hi, I'm Tom Tango, Director of Plant Operations. I'll say a couple things and then ask for questions. Also, did you see the Yankee game last night? That was very good. Yeah, John evened it up with Babe Ruth, but then they They did a walk-off grand slam, and the Yankees is the only thing Rob and I agree on. So.
Equal time?
What's that?
Equal time? No, we don't.
Yeah, I said, I talked about Judge and Stan. Yeah.
We don't cover minor league teams
Yeah,
here.
yeah. And actually, Carl, I appreciated that they did that while you were downstairs in our offices. A lot of you remember a few years ago we did an active shooter drill with the police department. The police department came in and we did a shooter drill. There were some items that were noted during that drill, the things that we needed to do a better job of. And since then we have updated our instant notification system, where like when something goes wrong, like if we text you or email you and you get a call out quickly. When last time we did it, that system took like an hour and a half. So now we get it down to a few seconds. That's good. We had some issues with the phones last time, and since then we've gotten a new phone system and some other things also. So we just met with Chief Lucchese, New Paltz Police Department, yesterday, and in a few weeks we're setting up dates. He will come in and we'll have an open presentation where all the residents will be invited, and you can talk directly to him, and he will explain to you what a resident should do in an active shooter situation. So it's not Woodland Pond saying what is the right thing to do. It's Chief Lucchese. At some point after that, a few days, a week, whatever, we will have an active shooter drill again. But that's after he's been here and can explain to you what, should be done. Basically, if there is an active shooter drill, just like a fire drill, we need everybody to stay in place and let the police come through and do their thing. Again, he'll explain all that to you, and he's also willing to take any questions from you on that or anything else you want to ask him while he's here. He's looking forward to that. In the last few days, and probably going on a little bit on Friday, you might have seen a guy out there, a crew out there grinding some spots on concrete. Sometimes you saw a big dust of clouds from the grinding of spots on concrete. I wasn't too happy about some of the clouds. But they'll be completed Friday, and a lot of the little trip hazards that were identified by this provider, by this company, have been eliminated. And makes it much safer. After they're done, we will go around and replace a lot of the caulking that's in between the concrete and the steps and things. And we'll do all that in the next few weeks. The only other thing I just want to mention right now is snow's coming. And not talking about now, and so in that, just please make sure that concierge knows what car is yours. So when we plow it and hit it, we know who to come talk to. And also, if your car doesn't start, let us know. In other words, if you haven't started it in a while, go out and start it. Let it run. If you can't, for whatever reason, you're not here, you're not able, call concierge, let them know. I'll send one of my guys out to make sure that they do it. I'm sure they'll have Cheetos on their fingers and powdered donuts, but we'll try not to make the car a mess. But we'll let the car run a bit so that when we do need it to move, we can do that. Questions about anything?
That grinding exposes the aggregate. Is there any sort of sealant that should be applied? So that sounds like the answer is.
The answer is yes and no.
All right.
The answer is, are we going to put anything? No.
Okay.
The
Basically,
recaulking.
have you considered whether or not sealant should be applied? You can answer yes.
Yes, I've considered it. Is it worth it? No. Recaulking, keeping the water intrusion out and the freeze and thaws, that is the big thing. The actual surface, a concrete sealant, unless you do it every couple of years from when it's new, you're kind of sealing, the old stuff in.
And we've done this process before in the past. The last time was before COVID, and we haven't had any issues without having sealed it, but we did think about it. Who else has a question for Tom? Barbara?
I don't know if this is exactly for Tom.
Okay, well then go ahead, you try.
Both of you.
Okay.
This is, not exactly related to active shooter, but it's a subject we've touched on before.
Okay.
That, management was going to, make an effort to find out which residents have guns, have firearms. And I wonder what the follow-up was that, and it's
Yeah,
been taken care of.
That was a few years ago. Presently, any firearm that a resident has here on campus, we have an inventory of, and we have determined that it's stored properly, and that it's illegally obtained, legally registered by a licensed owner. There's very few, and we also have determined that should that person no longer reside here or whatever, that there is a process for what happens to that weapon. There's very few, and going forward, no other weapons, can come in.
Right, so that was effective, I think, March of 2019 or 2020?
I'm thinking 19.
Yeah, so anybody prior to that, when we implemented that policy, was grandfathered in, but subject to the rules of locking and storage and inspection. But after that, no one else has been permitted to come in with any firearms.
Right.
And they will not be able to. Firearms are not permitted at all by state regulations in the health center. Other questions for Tom? And would you mind introducing yourself? Because I'm sure you're a new face to a lot of people.
Hi, I'm Evelyn Rosenthal, been here 2 months now.
Welcome.
Two questions. One is about, I guess, the gutters right by our screen door. We're on the ground floor. It's a mess. It's gonna be ice in the
Yes.
winter.
Mhm.
And I know it's a big problem. I know it's in other doors. I look.
Yep. The painting contractor that cleaned them last time, just walked around last Friday, and I just spoke to him this morning. I've got a couple other things and that. And by the end of the week, I should get a quote on doing it again. They're not anywhere near as bad as they used to be, but, we do need because the problem is, there are certain gutters that we just can't clean. We can't get to them. And to get to them, we need not just a man lift, we need a big man lift. Because we can't get a lift close enough to the building, so it has to be far out to get to it. So it's something we will do, every few years. We haven't done it in a few years, and we plan on doing it this year. I don't wanna make any certainties until I know that. All right?
The other question is about the temperature of the pool water. I'm sure you don't want to hear this.
I hadn't heard anybody say anything about it.
Right now, I hear that the thermostat in the control room or whatever is at 86, but the water is still at like 82, if that. Could you experiment with putting that thermostat up to like 86 to see if it makes a difference? Or 88, I mean.
All right, a couple things. The pool water temperature is the same today that it has always been for the last 8, 9 years. Now, I know there are people who say no, but the thermometer that we're going by is the one that Ecolab sets up and the one that the Department of Health checks. And that thermometer, the water is between 84 to 86, and depending upon a lot of things. But it's between 84 to 86, and that's always where it's been, and that's where it is now. There was a period of time back in like August where there was 6 or 7 weeks that unit did not work. And the temperature went down to 78 for weeks. Once we repaired the unit and we heated it back up to what it always was, that's when I began hearing that it wasn't warm enough. It's the same temperature. Now, there are people who, as soon as I fixed it, complained that I fixed it because they liked the colder temperature. So I would say to everybody who wishes the pool water changed, there's a plant operations committee of the resident council that I go to the meetings, that I go to. And the reason I say that is because just like somebody also asked me the other day about the time that the fountains are on. If I ask 50 people in this room what time the fountains should run, I'm gonna get 63 answers. I can't, so I need to take direction on like fountain run time, pool water temperature from one, avenue. So I would say talk to the plant operations committee. I will talk to them at the next meeting. If the plant operations committee says make the pool water closer in temperature to this hot tub water, then maybe we can do that. But again, the pool water temperature is the same as it always has been. Now, I understand there have been some residents that have put thermometers in the pool. I don't know what temperatures they're seeing. I don't know what those thermometers are. I don't know what those thermometers would have read a year ago. I don't know. Because the only thermometer that I'm going by is the one that's on the equipment in the mechanical room that Ecolab, our contractor, checks every month to verify, and the one that the Department of Health comes and inspects. So that's the only one that I can go by.
Have you or anybody in the facilities committee ever spent a half hour in that pool?
I volunteer.
Yeah, you don't want me coming by with Speedo, don't worry about it. In the Plant Ops Committee, yes, there are people, one woman in particular, who spends a great deal of time in the pool. So there are people there who are very interested. My belief is that there are people who like to get in the pool and do laps and exercise, and they like it one temperature. There are other people that just like to get in there and just be there, and they like it another temperature. And it's no different than this room. Everybody has a different belief of what it should be. So again, I am not in any way saying that we can't or won't do things, but let me just take direction from one place. Now I'm sure Deborah Moore, who runs the Plant Ops Committee, is just pulling her hair out because I just directed a whole bunch of people to her about problems herself. But oh well.
Right, and that's sort of especially you being newer residents, and welcome. Tom and I don't care what the pool water temperature is. We don't care what the temperature is in this room. This is your home. We want to take direction from you, but as Tom said, there's a million different opinions. So our committees here really try to take the lead from the committees and the residents council. And all of the committee meetings, for those that don't know, are open unless they have to go into executive session. So you don't have to be on the committee to go to the meetings. Most, if not all, will let people speak from the floor, and it's a great way to get your issue raised up. Other questions for Tom? Mr. Gardner, hang on one second here. And would you introduce yourself as well, because you are a newer face also?
Yeah, I'm real new. John Ortner, and mine goes back to the first question. Does the fire department have the equipment to reach these gutters? Or New Paltz Fire Department for the university? They've got tall buildings too.
I'm gonna say that I'm sure they can reach it. As to whether they would or wouldn't, I don't know. Because when we have the right equipment, it takes several days to do it. So I don't think we're gonna find the fire department coming by to do that, no.
I just wonder if they ever come in for a drill to get to the fourth floor.
Oh.
The same way they do the shooter drill.
Can they get to where they need to get to? Yes.
And maybe they should test it out. Hey, reach up there and clean those gutters out.
That would be nice, yes.
That's a great idea. Incidentally, while we're talking about this, if at any time you experience here on this campus an ice situation, one of the things that you'll find, especially if you're new here, is especially in the spring or maybe early fall or late fall, we have a lot of freeze and thaw. So we'll have a lot of snow melt. Like we'll clear out and then snow will melt across the sidewalk and then freeze at night. We really try to stay on top of it, but every single person here has the responsibility. I'm deputizing you. You have to report it to us when you see it. We have the adequate equipment to treat it, but we don't always just walk around. So if you see an issue, don't assume that we've seen it, assume we have not seen it, and over-report, okay? Anything else for Tom? Mr. Kissinger?
You know what this is about? It's about the tree limbs that are hanging down outside of the library and in the front.
Yes, and my belief is that in the last few days we've started, and Mark Eisenhandler was out there. I know he was out there yesterday with the other Mark and with Elijah doing it. So the tree trimming process, tree and bush pruning is in process. 100%.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the next director. Thank you, Tom. Bridget, Shannon.
Hi everyone, I'm Shannon Scaturro, the Director of Marketing. As many of you know, we have a pretty much full house here. We hover under full occupancy. We've had wait lists for years, and now we're finally at the point where as a unit becomes available, we're working right off of our wait list. We're also working with all of our waitlisters to find out who is indeed ready this year, and we're creating now what's called our ready list. And those people are who we will contact as apartments come up, especially through the end of the year since prices go up January 1st, and get them lined up so that way if we do call them, we know that they are in fact ready to close on an apartment here, and we can plan for the last quarter here since we have no idea how many units may come up or may not come up. Also on our end, and I'm going to be reaching out soon, we're going to be updating the video, the Woodland Pond video that's on our website. We're looking to shoot sometime end of October for this. So I'm going to put out a notice to the residents to see who might be interested in participating. And it'll be a combination of resident testimonies. I'd like to get a few people to talk about why they came to Woodland Pond and what their special interests are here and what they like to do. And then also capture some different resident lifestyle activities, things in your apartments or your cottages, dining, having family visits, activities that you're doing here, and the company will put it all together nicely and make a nice video. So I will be reaching out for that. And we're also going to start doing more with our waitlisters, so I'd like to get on our calendars regular events where the future residents actually visit. Future resident happy hours, dinners, and I will also reach out to residents that would like to entertain them and talk to them and have dinner with them when they do visit here. And that's all I have right now. Oh yes, I'm sorry. So we had a notice go out for any of those that are in larger apartments that are interested in downsizing. We were waiving relocation fees for anyone that has expressed interest in doing so. So if you would like to downsize when we do have availability for a one-bedroom apartment, let us know. If we have your name on a list by September 30th, you can still take advantage of having your relocation fee waived. After September 30th, you always have the option to downsize, but relocation fees would apply at that time. So give us a call if you're interested and we can get you on the list. Any questions for me?
Do we have anything for Shannon? Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you. Bridget.
Hi everybody, I'm Bridget Blum, Director of Human Resources. I don't really have anything to discuss today, but I am certainly available if anyone has any questions. Quiet day.
Okay, there we go. Moving along.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Robert Dunn, Director of Environmental Services. I don't really have anything myself to touch on this week for housekeeping. I know our staffing vacations have kind of ended for the summer, which is kind of good, so everything should kind of be back to normal on your housekeepers. Do you guys have any questions for me? I know pest control was here the other day. I am seeing an uptick on people's porches Bees tend to be a problem this time of year as they try and settle in and try and move into Woodland Pond for the winter. So just call me if you do see that activity on the porch, because the open porches do seem to be a common thread where they seem to want to camp out. A lot of plants that you guys have on the porches tend to draw them in. But just call the front desk or call Carrie or myself if you do have that issue. Okay. Any questions from you guys for me? Go ahead.
I don't know, hold on,
Hold on, wait for the mic.
Not the mic, so otherwise the video won't pick it up.
I'm not sure if you're the right person, but the doggy waste disposal stations, there's only 3 of them in the complex.
Mhm.
I think it might be nice to have, there's some of the back doors back here also, if it's possible.
Towards the backside? Yeah, I think that's you.
That's Tom?
Dog waste and Tom go together. So they can look into that, you know what I mean? They can, he's your guy. Anything else for me though? That was great. All right, thanks guys.
Okay. Hi, I'm Amy McIntyre, Director of Dining. Okay. Hi, everybody. I just want to talk about our new menu cycle that's starting. We have, obviously we're going into fall and winter menus. They will be starting this Saturday, 9/24. We're going to be entering a new 5-week cycle, okay? So that's really exciting for us. This time around, I mean, the dining committee, we talked about it. We've included my executive chef, both my chef managers, myself, and Ashley, because Ashley's just included in everything. And we've been going over them as a team to try to take all of your old favorites, new favorites, things that we don't even think about, and get them into this menu. You're gonna be seeing a lot more stews, roasts, savory items, just for the winter months. I'm just gonna, just because it's exciting, I'm just gonna name off a few just to get you excited about next week. But just desserts alone, we're bringing in cannolis and lemon bars and cherry pie and German chocolate cake and peach cobbler. We're bringing back cheesecake. That's just to name a few of the new desserts that we have on the menu. For dinner options, I know that we have spaghetti and meatballs, wild mushroom ragouts. We're gonna stick with beef briskets and short ribs and stroganoffs, bratwurst and pulled pork. We're doing portobello fajitas. We're looking at chicken pot pies, baked rigatoni. So you're seeing a lot of these are your fall winter menu items. Okay, some of our high ticket items like the prime rib that we did on the carving station. The point of these meetings is full disclosure. To bring you in prime rib right now is $24.95 a pound. Okay? And to bring in prime rib for you, I have to bring in 30 pounds. And you all know what I do, yes. Tenderloin filet is actually cheaper than prime rib. But for me to do tenderloin, we do the prime rib, that's what it is, beef tenderloin. For the day, it cost me $2,000. Health Center also gets that because you know that it's very important to me that whatever you get, the Health Center also gets. So we're looking at we have to be smart about this. You know that some of the prices were raised. Most prices were raised, we're talking $1, 50 cents. And I had such a pushback with that. I want to be able to serve you scallops, but it cost me $43.95 to bring in a pound of them. Okay? So these are the real conversations that we may be having in the next few months. I've had some conversations with Michelle. I just want to be able to say it at meetings like this, that you need to understand that there are really actual items like turkeys. I literally have to start buying our turkeys now for Thanksgiving. Do you know that there's a turkey shortage? There is. So I need to start buying them now and put them in our freezer. Well, because we live in Woodland Ponds, I'm a consumer all the time. This is what I do for a living, so you don't have to. But yeah, so we just got an email out saying that we need to start looking into turkeys now for November because we won't be able to get them for Thanksgiving.
What happened when you went out for a steak this weekend?
Oh, let's talk about it. You ever been to Crew in Poughkeepsie?
Yes.
Really nice restaurant. So the boyfriend and I, he wanted to treat me. Bought me a pretty necklace. And I did something right. And we're at dinner, we got some oysters, you know, they're $3 a piece. I love oysters. And I got the cavatappi pasta with just chicken and vegetables. It was $28, no salad. $28 for cavatappi pasta with chicken and a little bit of veg, $28. So the boyfriend, he wanted a steak. So it's a dry aged 12 ounce. You can choose between the New York strip or the, so you can get a strip or you can get the porterhouse. He said, I'll have the strip. The server said, would you like to know the market price? And he said, no, that's okay. Like, because what you're thinking, I'm gonna blow your mind. I'm gonna wait a second. $92. We laughed out loud because you have to understand, we also got a drink, okay? So they gave us, he ordered us mango Prosecco's. We were celebrating, right? They were $13 a piece for a mango Prosecco in the short flutes. Okay? When I bring a bottle of wine for you, the Chateau Saint Michel Sauvignon Blanc that we all love, because it's a really good wine, it cost me $14 a bottle to bring it in for you. I'm just explaining to you what Michelle, the $92 steak, I mean, that's unbelievable. I've been eating out a lot lately. That's just what the boyfriend and I do. And yeah, I told him I'm gonna make us peanut butter and jellies and we'll be rich. So we need to be more aware of what things are costing out, you know, at restaurants and stuff like that. You know, the idea is that we need to break even here. You know, it'd be nice to make money, but we at least have to break even. When you do beef tenderloin here, which is filet mignon, we charge you $20. You also get 2 sides. That's the difference, okay? If you go anywhere else, you're gonna see MP on everything. I went to City Island. Anyone know where City Island is? Oh, I went Saturday. Oh, I went to some crab shack. It was amazing. 3 crab leg craws, snow crab, $62.95. Yep, $62.95. I got the seafood fra diavolo, $49.95. This is the reality of what's going on. I'm a consumer. We can talk prices all day. So I want you to be excited about the new menus. I want you to know that I am trying really hard with my staff to give you things that you want to eat. Lamb chops, to bring in lamb chops just for IL, it cost me $600. Just for IL for one dinner to bring in lamb chops. For IL it's 120, so what are we talking, like 50 orders? Because that's what we have to account for. We average about 50 orders when we do the lamb chops. Well, I know I love lamb chops too. And you know that I'll bring them in. We'll do that. We will have these items, but I'm going to have to charge accordingly for some of these higher ticket items. That's the conversations that we're going to be having in the next couple of months. I'm only going to foresee this getting worse. I don't really have the answer for this kind of thing. So that's why I'm doing short ribs.
If I could just add to that, I'm working with Amy's district manager also and Amy to get literature out for all of you to really understand industry-wide, you know, what's going on here. So that we have things we can put in your hands so that you can see what's happening. There's so many things that are contributing to it. So first we've got huge supply chain issues, huge weather pattern problems, which are creating major issues with agriculture, livestock. It's very, very tough. So if you're not out in the grocery store, the prices of everything are through the roof. I actually think about, you know, our staff that are, you know, newly working or, you know, have a more entry-level job, so to speak. I'm not even sure how they're putting food on their tables, to be honest with you, because the prices at the grocery store are just out of control. So what we are seeing is people are choosing to eat a bag of chips instead of buying cold cuts and making a sandwich or, you know, purchasing salad or fruit. So it's just, we're trying to bring you what you want and what we can get, but we're definitely facing challenges. So we don't want it to just be an amorphous issue. We want to bring you that literature, bring you that data. So we will be continuing to do that. And so this is just sort of the first of this conversation, but we will get you more information. Certainly you can consume that on your own. There's plenty of articles out there telling you what is happening. But the turkeys, there's avian flu going on right now. So there's just a lot of things combining right now to make food procurement and production extremely
It's
expensive.
very difficult for us to get things in.
Oh, there's a mayonnaise shortage. Oh, and I heard there was a cream cheese shortage, and I don't know.
So for us, we have certain food buyers, the people that vendors that I deal with directly. And if I can't get it from one, I have to go to another. So like when we put prime rib on the menu and Cisco, which everyone in this town uses Cisco. It's not a Sodexo company. It is Cisco Albany. Okay, Sodexo doesn't have any food companies. That's something I talk about in my tours all the time. Sodexo is the management team. All of your food vendors are just vendors in this area that all of your restaurants in the area use. So everyone's feeling that. So Cisco Albany, if they don't have the lamb chops and they don't send them, but I have them on your menu. It's been on a week at a glance. Betsy has seen them. I have to get you lamb chops in. So then I have to go to a mom and pop Baldor's and spend $1,000 for them. That's the reality of what I've been dealing with. Because if I now take the lamb chops off the menu because I can't get them for a reasonable price, I will get the emails. So this is why we're having these conversations. Or I substitute, and then that's even worse. Okay? So these are the kind of conversations that we're gonna have. I'm still excited about being here. I am still excited about our new 5-week cycle. I really am. Jared, my executive chef, he's been taking a lot of hits. And he has really made, with him and our chef managers, we have an amazing new 5-week cycle menu. Remember, it's all brand new recipes. They all start Saturday, okay? Feedback is so important with you guys letting us know what our wins and our losses are, but please include our wins with our losses. That being said, we have a new feedback machine. It's called Happy or Not. You'll see it tonight at dinner. It is going to be on the left side of the host station. Oh, right. So I'm always thinking, here's Ruth. You're right, because on her left, Ruth's left, but to you guys right. Thanks, Michelle. So we're gonna have that right outside. Ruth can help you understand it better, but it's so simple. It pretty much has 4 different touchscreen faces. Really happy, good. Not so happy, really don't like us. You hit one of the faces, it gives you everything you could think of. Temperature, quality, timing, portion. You hit that, and then it gives you an opportunity, like a large QWERTY board, to write in your comments. You don't have to write in comments. You don't have to tell me who you are, but it helps me to be able to have a conversation. If I get a name, because we can talk about it. That's the biggest thing, is if I don't know, I can't make it better. Somebody came to me and told me the melon hasn't been that ripe lately. This has been going on for months. So if it's not brought to my attention, I think it's corrected. So right away I went to Jared and I said, put the melon on the counter. Like, it's such an easy fix, but if you don't tell me, I can't make it better. So the Happy or Not machine will be out there. It's touch. We still have the feedback. I have a feedback box, like written papers, that's on the right side of, oh God, if you're facing, it's on your left, of the host stand. You guys, some of you are amazing at writing comments, letting us know. I share all positive and negative feedback with my staff. Mostly the positive, because I try to use it as morale boosters, but I will stop the kitchen staff just to read something that you've said about what they've made. And you can't even fathom how that makes them feel, okay? They have a lot of ownership in that kitchen. Since I've been here, I've told a lot of you this, but we got rid of, I would say, 90% of our processed foods, okay? We are, except for the bases, I don't know if anyone understands like what a wet base is for soups. I'm not in there cooking veal bones. So our stocks, our bases, we are a scratch kitchen. That's really important to me. The only frozen vegetables that I bring in are peas and corn. And that's just for puree reasons. They're just easier to blend over in the health center. But other than that, I mean, like I always welcome everyone to come on my kitchen tours. You can see how clean we are. You can see all of the produce that we bring. We can have some education about where we're getting our items from. A lot of you have taken advantage of those tours just to get a better idea of what the kitchen is doing, okay? But definitely use the Happy or Not machine. That's really important to me because I need your positive and negative feedback so that I can do a better job. That's all that I care about. I have a new dietitian, Tanya Lopez. But for you guys, it doesn't affect you so much. She's really primarily in the health center. You all know that if you have any questions or concerns and you want to speak to the dietitian, you do get like a complimentary consultation with her. So you can always, her name is Tanya Lopez. Tanya also, let's give her till November to just get adjusted because the health center is its own beast. But I would like to start doing those dietitian talks again with you guys. I think that they're really informative. So I'll tell Tanya we'll start doing them on the IL side. But she has a long cooking background. She was a chef. So that's really exciting for me because unfortunately dietitians don't always have that cooking background. So she knows what it's supposed to taste like. She's not just getting educated about the nutritional value of it. She actually knows what it's supposed to look like on the plate and what, how it's supposed to be served, and that's gonna help us over in the health center. Okay, what else do I have? Oh, and just the applauds, please keep sending in the applauds. Our wait staff, average age is 18. They are entry-level positions, 16 to 21. I wanna say Emily and Sarah are the oldest two we have, okay? Gabe just turned 17. You are making such an impression on their lives. We are building these young men and women, their futures. And those applauds mean so much to them. We do them monthly. You can get them at the concierge. There's papers. If you had a good experience with one of my wait staff, you write their name, you just tell me what happened. And monthly, I go to we do pre-shift meetings with them, education on the menus, talking about Tanya does them daily. So at 4:20, we do meetings with them. Once a month, I show up with the applauds. They get so excited. They banter back and forth. They get a little competitive. Josh got a lot last month, and so, Gabe was a little upset. So this is the kind of stuff that we want them. They get $5 gift cards for these applauds. It's just a morale booster for the wait staff. Anyone who was here 7 months ago, this is only my 8th month, Betsy. Anyone who was here when I first got here, we did a lot of wait staff training, a lot. We still have a new people, and we'll just keep doing ongoing training, refreshers. But they've come so far. And I really think it's important that you guys applaud them, if you don't mind. The only last thing I have to talk about is the gala. We're so super excited. My team and I, we've been with Cam, we just had a meeting with all of leadership this past week, have been working on food and menus and logistics for the gala. I can't wait to see us all together to celebrate. We have, pasta stations, we're doing an Asian station, we're doing a local market table. We have past hors d'oeuvres, past Prosecco. We're doing a signature cocktail. I think Cam picked something like apple cider sangria. We have so many exciting things coming. My staff is beyond excited, and anyone who read my bio knows that I came from the Rhine Cliff, and what I did for 10 years was just this. All I did was galas and weddings, so it's kind of like going back to my roots. So anyone who, I just can't wait. There's 218 of us coming, and we're going to have a really good time and have lots of food. Don't be concerned about dinner. You will be full. And if you chose not to come for whatever personal reasons, we will have room service available. That is all. The pub, bistro will be closed that day because we have to get ready. We're utilizing every part. The game room, the pub, anyone who was here for the first one, all of those rooms. So room service will be available. So just plan ahead for something like that, okay? All right. Any questions for me? Yes.
Hold on. I'll go to Bill and then to Maddie.
Yeah, thanks. You mentioned the feedback forms that are, you have at the side of the desk.
Yes.
Do you respond to, is it your practice to respond to those?
It depends. So we get all variations of them. So I go in the box probably like about 2 weeks because it takes a while to even accumulate 5. I don't get a lot of them. So I check the box bi-weekly. I get them, I look through them, I send them over to Michelle, she looks through them. Some of them will just be like, the pork was really good. I want to see stroganoff. Only 3 pieces of meat were in the stroganoff. So these are the kind of things. So what I do right away, I go through each of them with Jared, the executive chef. Today we have a Bolivian beef stew, and I literally went over and counted every piece of meat that were in those room service to-goes. Because I had someone last week tell me that they only got 3 pieces of meat in their stroganoff. So these are the things. So I use these things to be better. If it's somebody who is really upset, I definitely will contact them. If I feel like they need to be talked to, but I'm not gonna say, I don't say thank you to you if you tell me that the wild rice was really good. You also can email me though, because I have, what? I don't mind, Betsy, it's okay. I have quite a few of you who know my email. It's diningdirector at Woodland Pond, WPATNP.org. Any of you at any time can email me, and then of course I'm gonna write you back. Sometimes Ashley will help me and she'll write you back, but we will definitely get back to you in an email, okay? But if you need me to get back to you on the feedback though card, just say, Amy, please contact me. I did have one, someone said they wanted to contact me. I just got them back from Michelle, and whoever that was, I'll make sure I contact them.
Okay, thanks for clarifying.
Absolutely.
This question is for Michelle, I think.
Okay.
At the end of the year, the money that has not been used for food, can that be applied to lower the cost of food during the next year?
So it's kind of a misconception the way the food program works. I know that a lot of you think it's like cash sitting out there, but it's not. All of our expenses go into the same pot and come out of the same pot. So there's not money that's set aside for those declining balances, so there's really nothing to apply. But I will take the opportunity to just mention that if you haven't heard me say it yet, you will be able to carry over $300 into next year if you're a single person, and $600 into next year if you are a couple. So, Maddie?
Amy, if I remember correctly, sometime in the distant past, there were different prices for smaller portions, a light portion. And I know that I would be eating less. I know I would be spending less, actually, if we still had that. Have you considered it?
Many, many, many times. So this has been brought up to me a few times. Okay, you guys know that we have a new menu every day, correct? What restaurant do you go to that there's a new menu every day? You don't. They don't exist. I have to account, so everything is a science to me, okay? I am also part of the SUSCOM committee, where waste is something that's very, very close to our hearts, okay? So that's why we have the reservation system, because that helps with overproduction of food, okay? So this is all a science. I look at our numbers. I actually look at the pork loins going up against the brisket. I pull a report to see how many brisket we sold last time, and does it go up against the pork? And how do those 2 items average each other? Just giving you an example. There's a reason I'm saying this. So I'll say I have to make 50 orders of brisket, okay? But that day, 20 of you feel like you want half portions. I'm not gonna know that day who wants half portions or full portions. So but I'm still gonna have to make 50 orders for cost effectiveness. So that's one issue that plays a role, because that's gonna go into my waste. Because if half of you want half portions, I'm gonna have a lot of food left over. And there's just so many half-price meals that I sell in the pub that I can get away with for the next day food. So that's one part of it. The second part is a lot of our items on our menu, like a chicken leg, I can't small portion that. I can't small portion the 6-ounce salmon that you're getting. There's items, majority of your items, so I would say maybe like our pastas we could small portion. How often you get pasta? So this is where the concern is. Do I have it? So I would have to look into like a small portion menu, like an everyday menu, but you already have an everyday menu. So you're already getting brand new choices every day. This is brand new food brought in every day. If I look into small portions, I would like to look into having weekly menus, and I know we don't want that. So at this point, Maddie, I have had this conversation come to me many times, but there's very rarely, like on our menu, I'm looking at it right now. So if I had penne and butternut squash going up against a chicken leg quarter, right, and braised pork, the squash, the penne and squash, I could possibly do a small portion price on that, possibly, but none of the other item menus that I have on for that night would be able to be brought into a small portion. So that's where, so it would literally be like maybe one item a night, sometimes two. So it's just a lot more work. I'm really concerned about food control, like food portion control. Me making 50 orders and 20 of you deciding you want small portions that day. What am I doing with the other portions of that food? And that makes waste. So that's my concerns about it. That's why I try to have some lower ticket items on there for people who aren't comfortable with spending money. If you look into your menu, you have a lot of price differences from $20 to $13, $14 on purpose. I hope that helps a little.
One thing we could possibly look at, and this is not a promise, and would have to be discussed with the dining committee, but we could look at potentially allowing people to eliminate sides and get a credit. If the sides are the issue and you feel like you have to order them but you're not really hungry for them, I'm not promising it, but we could talk about it at the dining committee.
I would love that. Because, sides, you all get 2 sides. Some of you don't even want them. But since they come with your meal, but that was something that was implemented right before I got here. Because that was a want that they wanted the 2 sides because you were getting more composed dishes. And like when it was coming with a side, and through the dining committee, it was now implemented before my time that you wanted the choice of the 2 sides. So that's definitely something we can look into. We can bring it up at our next dining committee meeting.
Amy,
Yes.
Tom Gilder.
Tom.
Hi. Back to the gala.
Yes.
Now, I understand from Michelle's talk yesterday that it is to be somewhat dressy-uppy. And I just want to be sure because some of us literally took the breakfast at night dinner thing beyond.
I saw those pictures. I am so impressed with you.
But I just want to be sure that dress is appropriate for
Yes.
black tie and tails.
So the whole idea is that yes.
You come Thursday night.
Tom told me he's wearing tails, so I can't wait for the tails. You and I are getting pictures together. So the whole idea is it's supposed to be a gala. It's supposed to be a formal event, the idea of it, okay? Everyone's supposed to wear what they consider their best, dress up to the 9. The feedback was when we were trying to get everyone invited, so anyone who hadn't RSVP'd, we reached out to them, we wanted to make sure that everyone came, was that they were maybe a little bit overwhelmed with the idea of dressing up. So that's when we said, come as you are, we want you there. So it's very important that everyone understands that I want to see everyone, Michelle and I want to see everyone at the gala. I will be dressed. We will be dressed. If we have a photographer, it's a perfect, opportunity to get really nice pictures. But if you decide that that's not what you want to do, I still want to see you. I want everyone to come. So that's the idea of why we switched it up at Michelle's address a little bit yesterday, because I know that some of the feedback from some of the residents was that they just didn't have, they were a little overwhelmed by the idea of formal. But Tom, we're dressing.
That's a good answer. All right, I have to kick you out because I have 2 things I need to talk to these people about before. All right, you guys talk about it. Thank you for coming. All right, I have about 5 minutes worth of things I want to talk with you about. So for those that I have not met, I am Michelle Vermolia, the CEO here at Woodland Pond. Jason asked me to just mention a couple of things to you, get to scoop. He would really like to talk to you all about cybersecurity, and I have no idea what about it. He just asked me to mention it, so I've now mentioned it. Cybersecurity. So I take it to mean that he will be planning to do some education and stuff on risks related to your computers. I know many of you have worked with Ryan. I have been asking Ryan when he works with you to help you check your security settings, to look and make sure that things are set, but I'm thinking maybe that's what Jason wants to talk about. So Jason wants to talk something about cybersecurity. The next thing is, we want to let you all know that the 3rd bus is back. So we were having trouble with the air conditioning, and they were having trouble figuring out the problem, but it's now fixed, and I guess it's back. So he mentioned that as well. From my perspective, I just want to mention, Amy already talked about the gala. I just want to mention and give you all just a heads up that in the next 3 weeks or so, you're all going to be getting an electronic invitation for a survey. And so we've collected either your email addresses or your cell phone numbers, and if you don't have those, we know that too. For folks that don't have electronic forms of communication, either email or text, we are going to give you the opportunity to complete your surveys with us in either the library on a computer with our help or with our tablets or other devices. So the company that we're using for our survey this year strictly do electronic. The company that we had used for many years, you remember you had to fill out paper surveys. That company no longer offers that service. We had to go with a different company to do our annual surveys, and we do them every 2 or 3 years. So that will be coming down the pike. I don't want anyone to feel stressed about it. The minute you say I can't do it on my own, we will have a staff member. We may ask the residence council. I haven't talked to you guys about this yet. See if there are any resident council members that might be willing to help their neighbors. These surveys are completely anonymous, and it's being done by a third party. All we do is we get the results at the end, so we can figure out what you're not happy with, what is working, etc. So that's going to be coming in a few weeks, and I just wanted to give you the heads up about that. Please make sure that you're reading your Chanticleers, and also you are trying to tune into my weekly addresses on Tuesdays, because we're getting a lot of information out. There's so much going on campus all the time now. It's hard to stay on top of it, and I understand that. So just try to keep those Chanticleers handy, highlight things that are interesting to you, because you don't want to miss out on the good stuff that's going on campus. Anybody have anything for me before we go? Yes, Anne? Hang on 1 second.
I'm sure you know what I'm going to ask.
I don't.
It's about the sound system improvements. We haven't had, the benefit committee wonders what's happening. We haven't been kept abreast of any.
There is nothing happening, that's why. At least to my knowledge. Jason's the one that's handling this, and the only reason I say that is because I see we still have an iPad and not the camera. So I have to get an update from him myself. The last I had heard was at our last management Q&A, which was in August. And the update to that was that I thought the camera was in and working, and I think that it is, but the problem is the speakers are not working the way that they were intended to. So just so that you can all remember, the Benefit Fund commissioned a project through our AV company, audiovisual company, to improve the sound system in here, because we found during COVID that music didn't stream well, and certain other sound didn't stream well. So we asked the vendor, and this is all they do. They do Bard College, they do all these places. Please design us a speaker system in here that will allow us to pick up music better, pick up speech better. So they did, and they installed these ones that have the lights around them. Those are speakers. The issue is, somehow they failed to realize that there's ductwork there. And so it picks up ambient sound from ductwork, and so it's not working, but the ductwork has always been there. So this is their issue to fix, and I don't know where Jason is with it. I think they've kind of thrown their hands up and said, I don't know, and I believe that he has told them to just put the other ones back in and refund us the money, but I will follow up with him and we'll get you an update. Thanks. Okay? Okay, Betsy? Let me just announce one thing before your question. This weekend we have 2 memorial services. So Benjamin Wheel is coming to do a piano concert in memory of Daphne on Saturday. I believe it's at 3. He's a world-renowned musician. So if you knew Daphne or would like to come to her time of remembrance, that's going to be in here on Saturday at 3. And on Sunday at 2, Marge Satter's family, some of you remember Marge Satter, her family is holding a time of remembrance in here at 2 on Sunday, and they have asked as many residents as would like to come please enjoy that. They would be very blessed if folks came. Go ahead, Betsy.
I heard her voice coming over the speaker. I hear my voice coming over the speaker, but I do not hear your voice coming over the speaker. The whole time you've been talking, I've been hearing you from here, but I think
Can you hear me on the speaker?
if you have it closer to your mouth, I get it better.
Okay. Understood and noted. Anybody have anything else for me at the moment? Okay. Thank you very much for coming. We will see you all soon.